Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. Look, I want everybody who are listening to me right now, chill. I want to talk to you for a few minutes. This is supposed to be an eye opener. You heard the story about God creating man. So, what do you think that God's greatest opposition is when it comes down to man? Now, many of you might say evil, and I guess you can say that as far as understanding goes. But truly, what is God's greatest opposition? Somebody will say the devil. Well, I guess you can say that as far as understanding goes. But you are basically referencing this on historical terms and for the purpose of advancement, benefit, we should bring it up to our current situation, our current understanding. God's greatest opposition when it comes down to humankind is humankind. It is self. In order for man to be complete, man have to have choice. Either way, that's a balance. You can choose one way or the other. Each have their benefits or consequences, but you have choice. One is a plan of life that got you here, and one is my way. I can do it better. I know what's best. Now, if you want to experience the peace and the prosperity and joy of life, you choose a certain kind of way, it'll get you there. If you want to experience the pain and the suffering, the racism, the bigotry, and the lies and cheating, you choose a way, and that path will get you there. So the path that everybody say that they want is the path that would get the peace and prosperity and freedom of life. But the greatest opposition to that is you got to go a different way, unless your way is the same as the original way. That is basically meaning your way is lining up with God's way. Now, here, just to give you a better understanding of what I'm saying, a person of God is chosen. And when I say chosen, I mean that person has accepted the reality of truth, that God is supreme, and that there's nothing between human beings and God. Nothing between, and not even self. They removed self out of the way. And that those eyes began to see, and their steps began to walk according to a direction that's a little bit different than where it was. Now, you might not understand that until you look at this person, who it might be whatever, this person of God. Let's say this person of God happens to have a significant other or spouse. Now, if and only if that spouse and that one of God are actually each one of God, that means both of their eyes are open and they are seeing clarity. Unless that is happening, you got problems. Why? Because the greatest opposition to that one who has been accepted by God to do a work is that spouse. That spouse is the greatest opposition. That spouse will do all kinds of things to hamper God's program. The man could be weak, yielding in. I said man or the woman, whatever the spouse might be, can be weak, yielding in to satisfy something, hoping for a different outcome. In actuality, the thing that is happening is self is taking over. Self is making decisions based upon what satisfy itself, as opposed to what is the proper thing to do according to the spirit of love. And so there you got yourselves a vice. So I guess that's what I'm saying to everybody today. You got to be one with God. Yourself, your program has got to be one with God. And when your program is with one with God, you will know it because it promotes peace and prosperity and freedom and the joy and the fulfillment of your dreams. It does that. If it's not doing that, it is not one with God. It, my friends, eliminates those kinds of things that cause all kind of problems. Like you have all your needs met, your wants, your desires. Why? Because each of you understand your position in life, and you engage yourself in that process, and you create the heaven that you have yielded yourself to. You have put yourself out of the way, and now you are responding to that basic principles of life. So when you hear someone saying to you, doing anything to hamper your work that God has given you, understand that that one is just an obstacle. Didn't perhaps mean to be, but in reality it is. So what are you supposed to do when you run across a problem? You answer that. I'm not going to answer that. You must determine for yourselves what you must do when you run into situations that preventing you from being you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it could happen with man and God. When man want to do man's thing, want to do the democratic thing, want to do the communist thing, want to do the socialist thing, want to do the slavery thing, want to do the white man thing, want to do all kinds of things. You got hell on earth. Now, oh yes, and another thing I want to leave with you. The self, you have been told that the devil is somewhere drawing people and doing all kinds of negative things to people. That's to keep you from really understanding what the truth of it is. I want you to see it for what it really is. It means you. You are the one that's creating all the hell that you can imagine. You can put on someone else if you want to. It's self, staying away from God, staying away from the truth, doing anything. What worse could something else outside of you do to humankind than that which humankind is doing to itself every day? No, you're the big devil. You're the one walking around in sheep's clothing and acting like wolves. You're the one having war. You're the one causing poverty. You're the one causing crime. Well, I didn't intend to go into that, but I thought you would read a little bit of that to understand the difference between what I was talking about earlier and where we are today, and why I'm speaking about a new world led by God's love and not man's ego. Till next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.